to never get upset, angry, or have difficulties with a toxic or negative person. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and if you're ready to have a fantastic day, make sure you hit the like button on this video to send this out into the YouTube universe and spread this message of positivity. Like button right over there. Let's dive right into this video, how to never get upset, angry, and how to deal with negative and difficult people. Let's do it. Okay, so I recorded this whole video. It's probably like 25 minutes long, and it was really something I loved on this topic. And my microphone wasn't on. So I recorded the whole video, and then the microphone wasn't on. And when I looked, I immediately started laughing because I just made a video on how to not get upset, and then my microphone didn't record it. And I thought, wow, isn't that ever funny? And it made me think that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. In order to free yourself of a negative, difficult, or angry person or situation, what causes you to feel upset by a difficult, negative, or toxic person? What causes you to feel upset by a negative, difficult, or toxic person? It's not the other person. It's our resistance to what's happening. Wishing they were other than they are, that the moment was different than what it was, that we didn't have to go through this. It's our resistance to what is happening. And when my microphone was off, I was like, everything is exactly perfect. It's exactly as it's supposed to be for me to learn the certain spiritual lessons I'm meant to learn, and for you to learn the certain spiritual lessons that you're meant to learn. So comment down below, all is well. Comment down below, all is well. And what I mean by that is, so in order to really look at it and be like, okay, so how do I not get upset? Or how do I not let this thing make me feel so bad, or so stressed, or angry, or frustrated? First we gotta go, well, what's the purpose of life? I believe that I'm a spiritual being in a physical body. I'm a soul using a physical body here to learn certain spiritual lessons. I believe that you and I are individualizations of this God energy, of this universal energy. This God energy or universal energy is in everything. It's in walls, computers, it's in every cell of your body, it's in everybody, it's in everything. And we are an extension of it. And we incarnated here as spiritual beings in physical bodies to learn certain spiritual lessons. And one of those lessons is the perfection of the universe, is to understand the perfection of the universe and to learn how to trust ourselves and to really see that all is well. There was supposedly an Indian guru named Muktananda, and he was doing a talk, and a woman was like, how can you be saying that life is so good when there's so much wrong in our world? And he said, ma'am, in my world, nothing is wrong. In my world, all is well. Because he understood something, that everything is always going to change, and that we actually incarnated here into this world of polarity, positive, negative, dark, light. We incarnated here in order to learn the lesson, and that lesson in this instance is to not how to take things personally and understand that there's something that we can do about it, exercising our free will. And we're also learning in very quick time how thoughts create reality, because it's not what they say, it's how we react to what they say that's controlling how we feel. So I wanted to give you a few takeaways that you could utilize when all types of difficult people, toxic people, rejection, negative people, bad situations, to learn how to create actual freedom in those moments. So let's begin. Number one, don't go as often and don't stay as long. If you're dealing with negative and toxic people, don't allow the guilt and shame of needing to spend time with them take away your own peace. Say right now, I intend to feel good. Make it your intention in life to feel good. Most people's intention in life is not to feel good, it's for other people to like them. So we allow guilt and shame and whatever else minutia of the day to take away our intent to feel good. And then we surround ourselves with toxic, negative people and we stay longer than we should. It might be your mother, your father, your family, your ex. It could be a coworker. But as best as we can, Bob Proctor said it best. Don't go as often and do not stay as long. If your intention is to feel good, most people don't feel good because what ends up happening is they allow guilt and shame to control, and they hang out with this person that they've known for 20 years, but they're actually really negative, and you're on a really different path, and we're afraid of what they'll think of us or of being a bad person, so we continue to, in essence, defeat ourselves by allowing guilt and shame to control us to keep spending more time. Don't go as often and don't stay as long. It doesn't mean you don't love the person. You can love them from a distance. You don't have to be rude about it, but don't go as often and don't stay as long. It's your intention to feel good. And if there is a relationship or circumstance in your life, as best as possible, that you can avoid or decrease the frequency of, and in return it's going to make you feel exponentially better, then don't go as often and don't stay as long. Number 2, SW, 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 SW. That's what Jack Canfield says. Some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting. And a lot of times we can deal with negative people or toxic people and we get told no or rejected, or they keep telling us no. And it's very important to understand that some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting. When I was starting my career, I sold my books out of the trunk of my car to start for the first, 3 or 4 years. And I went on little speaking tours. None of them were big events where people lined up to sign my books. So I had to go out and sell my books. I went on Van's Warped Tour, which was at the time 25-year running, one of the longest musical tours and largest musical tours in North America during the summers. And they would do about 50 cities in 60 days. And there would be tens of thousands of people per city. So I was on a tour bus with my wife, and I was their first ever motivational speaker. So the event would start at 8 a.m. and the lines would start at 7. So there'd be thousands of people waiting in line to get into this arena or center for these musical concerts. And I would start at 7 a.m. with a backpack, and I'd put like 15 books in my backpack, and then I had 3 different books that I'd written. So I'd bring one of each in my hand, and then I'd have the rest in the backpack. And I would go one after another, after another, after another, after another person. On a good day, if I had lots of energy and lots of caffeine, I would probably talk to 500 definitely over 500 people. I would start at 7 a.m. and there would be, a couple thousand people in line, and I would just spend a couple hours straight as people are going into line saying, "Hi, my name is Jake Ducey. I'm the first ever motivational speaker on Van's Warped Tour. Do you like traveling around the world? Wow, so that sounds like it'd be cool. Well, so I'm the first motivational speaker on Van's Warped Tour. My first book, Into the Wind, was about backpacking around the world when I was 19 years old, and I would do this whole pitch like that. And sometimes people would love it and be like, "Wow, this is so cool," and they'd buy the book. A lot of times people would say no, and a lot of times people would be very, very, very rude. So just over those 50 cities, I probably at least got told no 200 times per city, and there's 50 cities. So I think that's 10,000. Is that 10,000? I got told no a lot, let's put it this way. So sometimes people were really rude and really mean, and maybe they had low self-esteem or whatever, and they were trying to be cool in front of their friends or whatever they were doing. And what I started doing was saying to myself, SW, 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 SW. Some will say yes, some will say no, and they'll be total a-holes about it. Some people will try to beat you down. They will. They'll try to beat you down. They'll try to tell you you're stupid, not smart enough, too fat, too skinny, too old, too young, your dream isn't possible, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, don't you understand? They'll go like that. All you gotta realize is that people are projectors. You can only project an energy or a language towards another person that you have matching in your inner world. So whatever you feel within yourself, whatever anyone feels within themselves, whatever their behavior is, you can clearly see that behavior, language, or projection is a direct reflection of their inner state. And sometimes it can be hard to remember that, but it's the truth. And when you realize that, then you can realize some will say yes, some will say no, so what, someone's waiting. So I'd go up and sometimes people would stop me 45 seconds into my pitch and go, no, this is the dumbest thing ever. And so I would just go, and I would just walk right next to the next person. I wouldn't even stop and like try to be like, hey, could you be nicer, please? I wouldn't argue with them. I would just leave them on their way. They're free. My free will is to express myself. Your free will is to be happy. Your free will is your dream or goals or desires that you have. And someone else's free will in your life might be to be a total a-hole. That's the journey that they're on, because maybe eventually later in life they'll learn how to free themselves of negative emotions and start to be in a position of gratitude in their life, or maybe they won't. And really they're just supposed to be an alarm clock for you, a wake-up call for you to keep learning these lessons and commit further. And that's what I started to see all these people on tour as, that were very, very, very rude by the hundreds every day. And I just kept focusing on the people that I knew that would be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, I want this. And then they'd, write me a week later and say it was their most favorite book ever, it changed your life, thank you so much for being here. I'd focus on that type of stuff because I was giving people the free will. I live in a world of polarity and my soul is here to practice self-reliance. And one of the best ways to learn the spiritual lessons of self-reliance and freedom and independence is to have a lot of people that are passionately against what you're doing. And that's what I have. And it gave me the opportunity to practice satiating myself, creating my own well-being, and creating my own self-reliance where I didn't need someone else's approval or opinions to validate me for me to decide what I was going to do with my life. I didn't need other people to approve of my purpose or my goals or desires for me to be who I wanted to be, and I was going to show up anyways. SW, 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 SW. Some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting. Next, that's not part of my belief system. Thank you, but that's not part of my belief system. Now, this is an easy one that you can say. It might be a coworker that's very, very, very negative, and all they do is just shoot down every idea in the book. You gotta understand, they've probably been going through the ringer in their life, or they did in their childhood, and that's why they are the way that they are. And when we realize that, we can actually, maybe have a little bit of compassion for them because they're obviously struggling a lot, and then they're in denial about the fact they're struggling. So then they distract themselves by getting mad at you or being an a-hole to you or doing whatever they do to someone else because they don't want to address their own feelings because they're very scary. That darkness is very scary, and instead of bringing light to it, we just project darkness out onto other people. And the coolest thing, though, is you have a conscious mind, and your conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject any ideas, which means when somebody comes at you with negativity, you don't have to accept it. Your conscious mind can just be like, no, that's not my reality. So I always say, thank you, but that's not part of my belief system. You could say it in your mind, or you could say it out loud to that person with a lot of love and a lot of compassion. Hey, Billy, I understand where you're coming from. You don't think this is going to work. You think this is a bad idea. You think the world's going to crap. You think this. You think, I understand you, Billy. I really do understand you. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate you sharing. But you gotta understand, that's not part of my belief system right now, and I'd really appreciate it if we don't discuss this subject again, because this is very important to me, and this is what I want, and then da-da-da-da-da. And so thank you, but this is not part of my belief system. You can either decide to do it out loud or just in your own head, which is just a note for you to remember that you can reject other people's opinions and belief systems, and they don't have to enter your own subconscious mind. Ultimately, your thoughts and your feelings are what create your life. And other people's negative thoughts and feelings that they project onto you, you can reject their own energy and essentially create your own force field that allows you to be free and not be upset, bothered, frustrated, angry, or pulled down by someone else's issues that they have in their life. Next, try the act of compassion. You could always try this instead. You could be like, hey, I'm feeling like you're a little bit stressed or upset right now. Is everything okay? What's going on in your life right now? I'm here for you. Sometimes we want to distance ourselves so much out of anger. Maybe sometimes it might be nice to try the opposite approach and come towards them and try to use compassion and see if you can let their fences or their guards down. A lot of times I have people that'll write, and they'll write some really nasty negative things on the internet, right? And then they'll write them on email over and over and over. And then a week later, they'll keep watching my videos and I'll get an email. This happened a lot. And then I'll get an email and they'll be like, hey, I'm really sorry. I've been going through a really hard time. Just found out my mom has cancer. Or I just lost my job, or I'm in debt right now. And I've just been having a tough time. So your message was actually making me really angry. And now I'm finally had some space to take some breaths, and I can see that there are good things coming and blah 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 blah, but I was just in a really bad mood and I was trying to project that onto you. I've had that happen a lot, and the cool thing about that is sometimes people come around if you can create a space for love rather than amplifying the hostility, the anger, and the resentment and the negativity to another level. Instead of doing that, sometimes the compassion is the best way to open the next door. Okay, so I just wanted to share a few takeaways that you could utilize and implement into your life with some negative, difficult, and toxic people. At the end of the day, remember, we're all spiritual beings in a physical body, and sometimes people's darkness is actually our alarm clock. Sometimes people's negativity and toxicity is actually our wake-up call. It's actually our alarm clock for the certain lessons we're supposed to learn in life that are going to help us on our journey to come. Because life isn't trying to break you, it's trying to shape you. Life didn't put these difficult people in front of you to break you down, to punish you. It did it to shape you, to rebuild you, to transform you, to renew you, because you have something greater in service and in store and a higher calling in your life. And we're here to learn certain lessons. And so in some sense, this negative, difficult, or toxic person is really God manifesting as this toxic person in order to help push you further along on your journey. And it's actually a beautiful and paradoxical thing. So if this video speaks to you, hey, make sure you share it with someone who might be going through a difficult time. Hit the like button on this video right over there to send this out into the YouTube universe. Comment down below, I intend to feel good. Comment down below, I intend to feel good. Comment down below, hey, if you haven't yet, I created a success hypnosis called jakeshypnosis.com. It's right there down below. Now, the reason I did this is because in the early stages of my career, I felt like I had so much opposition. People saying, you're too young, you won't do it because of this, you didn't go to school, you need to cut your hair, da 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 da. So I created a success hypnosis to start to reprogram my subconscious so that I could actually start to have my own beliefs instead of all the negative energy I was hearing from outside of myself. So I hypnotized myself. I always say brainwash yourself before the world brainwashes you. Brainwash yourself for positivity before that one person brainwashes you for toxicity, negativity, and difficulty. Brainwash yourself for success before they brainwash you for poverty and fear. Brainwash yourself for intending to feel good, and no amount of negative energy outside of you from other people can ever make you feel bad. And it's right there down below. It's totally free. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com. It's right there down below. And you can use that for free. Over 500,000 people from all over the world have used it now, which is crazy cool. And thank you to everyone that uses it. It's free. jakeshypnosis.com right there down below. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. Bell notification is what notifies you for new videos. Even if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the bell notification. Then go like this. You might be dealing with a difficult person. Can you take a breath? And with each breath, bring yourself back to the present moment. In the present moment, no negative energy can affect you. In the present moment, especially with a smile on your face, you can always handle every situation with love, with grace, with compassion, and with freedom for yourself and for others in mind. As this begins to occur more and more frequently, what we find is negative, toxic, and difficult people are just a part of the journey of life, and we're here to learn certain things. And oftentimes, when we can approach this with presence by focusing on the rising and falling of our breath, having a smile on our face, a lot of times we can actually help awaken these people and actually become a source of inspiration and light in their lives. And that's the real mission that we're all on. So have a beautiful day. I love you. I'm sending so much positive energy. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. jakeshypnosis.com right there down below.